And we are now recording. So feel free to welcome everybody, Rabbi Siegel.
Hi, I'm just really glad that we have this opportunity to be together tonight. It's a pleasure just to see everybody and to see where everybody's at. Rabbi Russo gets to sit outside. Rabbi Chankin-Gould looks very scholarly, and I love the stained glass window behind Barbara. And our goal tonight is really just to have a conversation. We are living in a COVID-19 universe, and it feels like we've been on a long road since March. And the congregation has, I think, been remarkable. Our staff has been remarkable. Our lay leadership has been remarkable. And we have learned together that the power of the congregation is not tied to the building alone, but that we are better together, and we have gone forward together, and we have discovered different mediums to be a community. And tonight is, in a sense, informational, but I think tonight's also a celebration of who we are as a community, where we're going, and a taste of the future, very much grounded in the present. And we're thrilled that Barbara Gressel is going to be our moderator this evening and lead us through this conversation. But welcome, everybody, and we look forward to your questions and look forward to the conversation. But most of all, we're looking forward to coming together during the month of Elul and the holidays themselves, and to bring in what we hope and pray will be a happy, sweet, and healthy new year. So, Barbara.
Welcome to all, and thank you for joining us this evening. Anshe Emet wanted to offer this roundtable to discuss many of the offerings for the High Holy Day services, programming, and Elul events. I'm Barbara Gressel. My husband, Gary Wagoda, and I have been members of Anshe Emet for 20 years, and I'll be your moderator this evening. I'm joined tonight by our wonderful rabbis, Rabbi Michael Siegel, Rabbi Dror Chankin-Gould, and Rabbi David Russo. This question is for all of the rabbis, and Rabbi Siegel, I'll begin with you. Please give us details about the services that you'll be leading during the High Holy Days.
Well, I have to say that there is no question that in the nearly 150-year history of Anshe Emet, that we will have a high holidays like this. It's going to be different, and I think in many ways it's really exciting because we're innovating as we go along, and we are developing our services and the service models and using technology, I think, in ways that we weren't even considering 6 months ago. So we're going to be doing a hybrid of different types of services, and our goal throughout is to do our very best to recreate the experience of coming to shul at Anshe Emet during the holidays. And so, even though the vast majority of our congregation will be in their homes, watching us on a screen. So the challenge has really been to create opportunities for people to engage and to experience their community in the best way possible. So all of our Shacharit services will be pre-recorded. Michael Goodgold will be leading us, and it's strange, but we've pre-recorded those services now in August, and they're going to be live streamed. And as we go forward, we will read from the Sefer Torah, and that technology will be varied, but we'll have a chance to participate virtually in the Torah reading. And then Chazan Mizrahi, I'll talk about the sanctuary, and then our other rabbis will talk about other service opportunities. Chazan Mizrahi will be recording with the choir, but the choir, because of safety concerns, can't be in the sanctuary. So everything will be pre-recorded. Chazan Mizrahi and I will be leading the service in the sanctuary. Bill Chin, our choir director, will be working with the Chazan, and the pre-recorded choir will be part of that. The services will be compacted between basically 11 and the Musaf service will be compacted between 11 and 1, and that will include the sermon. And we think that it's going to be a very powerful, very exciting, and very fulfilling holiday. And the schedule for the high holiday services will be coming out in the September bulletin, but you have to pay attention to the website because this is somewhat fluid. And you'll be seeing all kinds of different e-blasts, and if you pay attention to our website as well. I should also mention that we are concerned that our community have the best experience technologically as possible. So we have, and this is through the good work of Mimi Weisberg and Amy Karp and Bonnie Fine, we have identified AV Chicago as being one of the premier videographers in Chicago, and they're going to be working with us, making sure that all of our services are displayed in the best way possible. I also want to mention that we are going to have a new Thursday e-blast called Tekiah Thursday, very exciting title, in conjunction with the month of Elul. And all members of our congregation will be able to access all of the services that are being live streamed. And Barbara, I also want to mention that we're going to be exploring outdoor opportunities as well for our youth. And so we are using every possibility to reach our community.
Oh, great. Rabbi Russo, can you please tell me about your services?
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. And it's great to see or to know that you're all here tonight. It's great to be here with all of you. So I am honored to be leading the services that are typically our Malkov Chapel High Holiday services. This year, our Malkov Chapel services will be live streamed from the Media Center. So the Media Center is on the second floor. It's a really nice room that feels intimate. It has a library type feel to it. And I'm going to be live streaming those services with Marsha Nagorski. Marsha, the person who always coordinates all of our high holiday services. She is going to be leading them with her beautiful theme of tunes that she always incorporates. I will be sharing the kavanot, the intentions for the different introductions for the various prayers. And we are hoping, please God, if we do not move back in phases, to be able to have Torah reading from members of the community who are going to get to read Torah for us. So we're really looking forward to, for the most part, having services very similar to how we always do from the Malkov Chapel High Holiday service. A little bit more compacted. It's going to be live streamed with obviously very small numbers of people, hopefully a million of people in the room, but still the beautiful nigunim, the beautiful tunes that Marsha is going to be singing, and the beautiful feeling and connection that we always feel in those services. So I'm really excited and looking forward to those.
Wonderful, thanks. And Rabbi Chankin-Gould, if you can talk about your services.
So Cantor Berkey and I are so excited to tell you about what's going to be happening in the Blum Community Hall this year. We'll be working together, Cantor Berkey and I, for all of those services, and we have something really special planned. Because we have the opportunity to work with Cantor Berkey's family, you'll be hearing her harmonizing with her husband and at least one daughter. So we'll be having kind of our Von Trapp family experience right there in Blum to bring you all those melodies that we normally can't do with members of different households, but we're so blessed to have one household that can sing together gorgeously. So that's going to be really beautiful. And this year we're going to have at all of our services in Blum, piano and a string quartet. And we think that that's really going to fill the room with a beautiful, rich, full sound. And they're not just any musicians, these are members of our community. We're so blessed that Dan Golden is going to be leading us with his viola and putting together the other members of the string quartet, and our own Christy Childs-Twilley is going to be joining us on piano. So the room will be, we hope, really full of the same beautiful vibes that we would have had in person. We'll be missing you being there, and we're really proud of what we're producing, and we hope it really touches you. And at the same time, Cantor Berkey and I will be facilitating the tour services on behalf of the community hall and the main sanctuary. We'll be doing those together, and making sure that we're able to hear as many of your voices as possible during those snippets as well. So that'll be really special.
Well, this all sounds terrific. Rabbi Siegel, please describe for us the importance of Elul, and then also describe one of the programs you're most excited about.
Well, Elul is a remarkable month because it leads us into the high holidays. Conceptually, we like to think of the 4 letters of the month of Elul, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, as an acronym, Anila Dodi V'Dodi Li. It is kind of a beautiful vision of the relationship between God and Israel. But this year, there's a theme of Elul that we don't always talk about, but really speaks to us, I think, in a very profound way this year. And that is the whole notion of healing. These weeks leading to Rosh Hashanah are understood in our tradition as months of comfort, or weeks of comfort. And as we approach Rosh Hashanah, God and Israel find this healing path. And I think about what we have been through as a country, what is going on in the world, and the social strife and the challenges on so many different levels. And I have to think about the need for healing and the need for hope. And I think Elul provides both of those ideas. It really asks us to explore our relationships, explore our spiritual lives, explore our communities, and explore our role in building a better world, so that as we come to the high holidays, Elul offers us the opportunity to approach them with greater hope, that this will be a Shana Tova, this will be the fulfillment of the tasting of the apples and honey, and that we will be going on a better path and healed path in so many different ways. And I think all of us can appreciate the power of those ideas and their relevance. And what I'm so proud of our congregation and the kinds of programming that we are doing to help this community prepare for this time on the holidays. And I'll just speak about a couple of programs that I'm directly involved with. And during the course of the summer and leading up to the holidays, I'll be continuing our conversations of consequence. And I'm going to be talking with Erica Brown. And Erica Brown, Dr. Erica Brown, is one of the most exciting and prolific teachers in the Jewish community today. She's based in Georgetown. And I think one of the wonderful aspects that we have discovered is the power of Zoom, right? So Zoom has become part of our lives in ways that I don't think any of us could have possibly imagined. Like, how many of us were part of a Zoom Seder? How many of us were part of a Zoom graduation? Zoom has become, part of our lives in so many interesting ways. And so this offers us the opportunity to have live conversations with people we might not have been able to have if we were trying to bring them into Chicago. So we're going to be talking with Erica Brown on what does it mean to say you're sorry? How do you say you're sorry? How does that affect relationships? How do we build relationships through that? And she is, and I promise you that if you haven't studied with her, you won't be disappointed. She is remarkable and quite brilliant. And so this will be just a great, great conversation. There'll be all kinds of Elul teaching tools to kind of bring the congregation and prepare them for the holidays. There'll be conversations on Tefillah with Joey Weissenberg. And finally, we'll be sharing family traditions and recipes to get people ready to go forward. And maybe Rabbi Russo, maybe you'll talk about some of your ideas and what you're going to be working on.
Thanks, Rabbi Siegel. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Barbara.
Well, it sounds like all of you have prepared a meaningful month for us.
Before we go on, I just have to kind of underscore a couple of quick ideas. There's Tshuva and TV with Rabbi Russo, Reflections on How to Change Behavior with Rabbi George Chankin-Gould and psychologist. And there'll be the Jewels of Elul. Each night, we'll be focusing on a verse of Psalm 27, the psalm of this period of time. And we'll be reading them and it'll be read by congregants and staff. And so there is just a lot going on. And this is just a little bit of the month of Elul. And so, Barbara, thanks for letting me kind of just fit that in, because there's so much. And I was just talking about what I was doing, but our other rabbis are doing a lot, and I want to be able to celebrate that.
We'll get to them.
Right.
And next, Rabbi Chankin-Gould, I'd like to go back to discussing the holy days. Other than the holiday services we've previously heard about, what types of events and services have been created during the days of awe to bring our community together?
Thanks, Barbara. We've been thinking hard about what we can do to spend more time with you around the high holiday season. And in particular, knowing that we're all longing to be together in person and that we can't always have those opportunities during the services themselves. So two things jump out at us as really rich opportunities. The first is Tashlech. On the second day of Rosh Hashanah, it's our tradition to gather by the water and to take breadcrumbs and to send them out into the water by the lake, representing us letting go of our sins or the behaviors, the choices we've made that seem to always stick to us, and to really release them in hopes that we can change in the new year. This is a perfect opportunity during COVID-19, because we want to be guided by what's healthy and safe. We want to do rituals that keep us together and also keep us outside. So we will be maximizing our opportunities for Tashlech to see as many people as possible in small groups of different ages, for teens, for kids, for adults, coming by the water and being able to engage in a beautiful Tashlech service together. So rather than that happening one time, it'll happen myriad times, so that hopefully you and your family will have a way to join us for that. And another opportunity we've been thinking about is that for so many of you, we know that you wish that you could be physically in the synagogue with us, and we wish that too. So one thing that we are planning on doing is, over the course of 3 days, offering an opportunity prior to the holidays for you to come into the synagogue itself, come up to the Ark by the Torah, and have a moment of spirituality, to perhaps open the Ark, to receive a blessing from one of the rabbis, or be guided in prayer by one of our clergy, or to have some time for yourself. That way you can feel that you're right at home at Anshe Emet. So we're really excited to offer you that opportunity. We hope to take that sense of intimacy with your synagogue into the holidays for you as well.
That's beautiful. Rabbi Russo, could you please describe something that you're pumped about for the high holy days?
Well, Barbara, I can't choose one. I'm just kidding. There is so much that I am pumped about for this coming high holidays, but there is one that in particular that I'm really excited for, and it's building off of what Rabbi Chankin-Gould just said. We want to figure out ways where we can still come together and still participate in the high holidays and in person, while recognizing that a lot of that inside the building is complicated. And so we have this really exciting thing called Shofar around Chicago. We have already gotten over 10 members of the synagogue to sound the shofar in 24 locations throughout the Chicago area. I'm talking about people, whether it's in Lakeview, or the South Loop, or Andersonville, or Evanston, Skokie, Damon and Lincoln. We're talking about all throughout the city. We are sending people to sound the shofar on the second day of Rosh Hashanah on Sunday, September 20th. It's going to be happening in different rounds at around 4 and 5 o'clock. So make sure you save on your calendar, Sunday, September 20th. around, just block off between like 3 and 6 for us, okay? And we're gonna have somebody who's sounding the shofar near you. You can go outside, it's all gonna happen outdoors, and we're gonna get to sound the shofar so that everybody can participate in this mitzvah. It's one of the things I'm most excited about. Major kudos to Amy Karp, who has spent a lot of time organizing our incredible members of our community, to the over 10 people who have volunteered and said, I want to do this because I want to help people fulfill this mitzvah. We are so grateful. If you're interested, we can add locations. So let Amy know, and we're excited to do it. But I'm really excited about that piece so that people can be participating in person, hearing the shofar. It's going to be really, really beautiful.
Oh, that's amazing. Rabbi Siegel, Gary and I always love the study sessions on Yom Kippur. Will we be able to experience that this year?
Well, yes, and going back to what I was saying earlier about having different people outside of Chicago involved with us, we're going to have Barry Weiss, who wrote a remarkable book on Judaism, was serving on the editorial board of the New York Times and recently left. And she's had some very powerful things to say about the media and also the role of Jews in American life, anti-Semitism. And I think that it will be a wonderful discussion that we are preparing for that, for Yom Kippur, as we look within as a Jewish community. Where are we today, and where do we plan to be going in the year to come in terms of how we approach anti-Semitism in this country, Israel, and just a broad-based conversation. And I think it'll be stimulating. Barry is a fabulous, fabulous speaker, and I think that she has very clear opinions, and the goal here isn't to agree with everything that she says. The goal is to spur greater conversation. So my hope is that you'll be joined together with other family members or other community members to watch this so that you can engage in a conversation, because I think we're going to be focusing on what are the larger issues in American Jewish life today, and where are we going as a community. And I think if we can't have hard conversations, then we're not going to really get to the essence of it. And I'm really excited about this. And so this program with Barry Weiss will be made public Yom Kippur afternoon, and you'll be able to watch it and take part. It begins at 3 o'clock on Yom Kippur.
You know, I love that even during this time of the pandemic, you've thought of dynamic ways to bring us together safely and in person. Rabbi Russo, could you talk about some of the logistics of the holidays? For example, how can people donate canned goods and pantry goods to some of our most needy neighbors? And how will congregants be able to access Machzorim, the high holiday prayer books?
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. So there are something that I know all of us take seriously every year for the high holidays is our ability at this time when we're celebrating the Chagim, that we're celebrating the holidays, to also make sure that people who are in need, people who need assistance, especially related to vulnerability, related to food, that they are going to have enough food. And so every year we do drives for both the ARC and iGrow Chicago, and more recently Share Our Spare. And so we're excited that we're still going to be able to do this. So if I'm telling you to block off dates, I want you to hold September 13 to 16, somewhere in there. We're going to be having times where we're doing the Anshe Emet drive-through, where you can come by, and for those of you who are used to bringing in a paper bag or whatever is filled with different items for donation, we're still going to be doing that. So that's going to be September 13 to 16, a few days before Rosh Hashanah. And when you come and do that, if it wasn't good enough to already be helping somebody else, we want to take care of you. So a lot of folks have been asking, how am I going to be following along with the services if I don't have a machzor, and can I get a machzor? So we have goodie bags that we want to give to all of you. We're very excited to give you an Anshe Emet goodie bag, and in there there's going to be a machzor for you to borrow. You can use the high holiday siddur called the machzor that we're going to lend to you. We're also, if you can't make it, don't worry. We can give you access to a Machzor online, but I know you're going to want that hard copy in hand. So to any of our members, we're very excited to have you come in those few days before Rosh Hashanah. Feel free to bring in something for donation and to take the goodie bag so you can also have a Machzor with you over the high holidays, because we want to make sure that you can participate in every way with all of the rich and beautiful and inspirational high holiday services that we have planned.
That sounds great. Rabbi Chankin-Gould, it seems like many of the demographics have been covered in your planning. I'd love to know what will be happening for our families with children.
Thanks for asking, Barb. Our education team has been really hard at work at figuring out what we can do to support children and families of all ages during the holidays and beyond. And we have a couple of exciting things to share. One piece is that the Young Family Service, which Max Handelman and Rabbi Donnie Aaron would usually be sharing on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur with families of little ones, kind of 0 up through kindergarten. That has already been prepared, recorded, and will be streamed and available to you as part of your high holiday tickets. So if you have young children, young grandchildren, it's going to be a beautiful service with puppets and singing and guitar and stories and all the things that you would normally have. But also we want to respect the fact that, especially for those of you with young kids at home or young grandkids at home, it's hard to do things at an exact time. So it will be provided in a way that you can play it whenever it's good for you and your kids, to be able to make that easy for you. And another thing that we've been working on is a youth service that will be geared towards elementary and middle school aged kids. This is actually going to be produced excitingly by Josh Warshawski, who's a rock star in the conservative movement and was also a member of Anshe Emet up through this last year, very connected to Camp Ramah, along with Rick Recht and Shira Klein. So some really big names in the world of Jewish rock. And the three of them have put together a gorgeous service for families with elementary school and middle school aged children. And we've been able to be part of it. So as part of that service, you'll also be hearing from the rabbis and members of our synagogue, along with Josh and Shira sharing and Rick sharing their great gifts. So we think that that's going to be really impactful. For our teenagers, we're really thinking about less what to provide online and more how to get them in person as often as possible. So we are thinking about things like, can they have their own virtual, yes, Zoom opportunities ahead of the holidays? Might we gather them certainly for Tashlich? And can we think about other opportunities, whether it be for prayer or for social opportunities, when they can safely gather outdoors? And so we're working on some of those options as well.
That sounds terrific. Rabbi Siegel, I'd like to finish my questions with you. As we've all heard, the Holy Day services will be for the majority of congregants' virtual services. What preparations have you made for folks who may have difficulty accessing the live stream services?
Barbara, I'm really glad that you asked that question. And before I answer it, I want to thank you and I want to thank Gary for the years of service that you've given our community. You are a remarkable couple and you have been stalwarts of our community. And so thank you for all of your efforts over the years, and thanks for leading this conversation tonight. We are really indebted to you. Accessibility matters. I think what we have discovered during this COVID-19 period is the power of community and the importance of community. And it has been so heartening for all of us to connect with people in ways that we thought we would never connect and see what a tradition can mean, whether it's morning minyan or a Shabbos morning service or a life cycle event. The kind of connections that we make, even if we can't be physically together, are profound and they matter in ways that I don't think any of us could have fully appreciated the way that we do today. And the value of this congregation, I think, has been remarkable in people's lives. And I know that because people let us know that all the time, that it matters. And I really want to thank the people who've made time this evening and thank our entire community, because the response to the holidays have been really, really powerful and overwhelming. And we are really thrilled by the support that we have received and the accolades for the work that we're doing. But we also appreciate it when people give us ideas, when people think of things that we could do, because we are so open to that. And yet, and having said all that, we have to be that much more aware of accessibility issues. And accessibility issues are not only in the physical realm. Accessibility can also apply to technology, right? So, you know, if I want to learn how to do something, I can ask my kids, right? Because they're light years ahead of anything that I know or understand. But technology can be forbidding for some people. And so part of the accessibility in today's world is technology. And so I mentioned earlier that we had hired AV Chicago to work with us and to ensure that our technology and what we offer is offered in the best possible way. But so I want to reassure everyone that the bandwidth that that we'll be using is really of the highest level. So your experience at home will be, I think, quite excellent. The sound and the use of cameras and all the rest will make for a very powerful experience. But I also want to mention that, and you'll be able to access all of the services that we offer, and that'll be something new. So you can move from the sanctuary to the community hall to the media center and get and have and you can also spend time on youth services. So you can actually take advantage of the array of different opportunities in ways that would be more challenging if you were in the building itself. And that's something that I think will be very special for people. But those people who also have physical challenges will I think, be happy to hear that all of our services are going to be captioned. And so that's going to hopefully make a difference for people as well. And there'll be live captioning as we go through our service so that everyone will be able to participate, I think, in a very real way. And we're very excited to bring that to the sanctuary this year. And I hope that people will appreciate that. I want to also encourage people to renew their memberships. I think that's very important. And to know that we are determined to ensure that our community stay together. Our hope and prayer is that, you know, our hope and prayer is that next year we'll be together physically. But we are looking to each of you to support the work that we're doing and to keep our community strong as we go forward. I want to just come back to one accessibility issue that I should have mentioned, and that is that we are here to help you figure out what your technology needs are. If there are issues, we're going to help you. So you need to call the synagogue, and we have people ready to support you. And God forbid 1,000 times, but if for some reason we can't, the technology goes down on the high holidays, we also have a conference call line so that everybody will continue to be able to continue to participate. So we've tried to think of every eventuality to ensure that we have this have the best high holiday period experience possible. And our hope is that we're also going to be sharing some of the special aspects of our services with a wider world. And I think that the fact that we're streaming our services this year gives us an opportunity, for instance, to share our Nila service in the sanctuary, led by Chazan Mizrahi, with a wider world. And we're gonna share that live with the wider community, because we want people to have a sense of the high holiday experience at Anshe Emet, which we think is a very special one. So once again, I thank everybody for participating, and Barbara, thank you for leading us, and I hope that you'll watch your mail for the amazing Elul brochure that'll be going out, and pay attention to the website and take advantage of the Tekiah Thursdays e-blast so that you can keep abreast and participate in all of the many programs.
Rabbis, thank you so much for this informational roundtable. I know that more information will be coming out every week, and I urge all of our congregants to look at the Tekiah Thursdays, which will be the weekly email blast focused on new services, programs, and events for Elul and the holy days. The complete schedule of services, programs, and events will also be available on the synagogue website, and the Experience Elul flyer will be in everyone's mailboxes in the middle of August. The complete service guide will also be available in our goodie bags. Rabbis, I want to personally thank each of you and our entire wonderful, amazing Anshe Emet staff for working so hard during this pandemic to make sure that the congregation is together, to keep the congregation open even though the building has been closed. I know I and others have felt connected and engaged during this difficult time, and I'm amazed that all of the services we have expected during the years at Anshe Emet before the pandemic have continued. And I want to thank everybody for watching this roundtable, and good night to all.
Thank you so very much. Shana Tova, everybody. Happy New Year. As we're looking forward to being together.
Thank
Thanks,
you
everyone.
all. If anybody has questions, feel free to email either myself or Mimi, and we will make sure we answer them to the best of our ability. I saw one has already come through, and I will be answering it privately.
And if I could just add one more thing, I want to encourage you to tune in to our Friday night services and our Shabbat morning services as we continue to upgrade the technology. And I think the services have really been exciting to watch and to see how we've evolved. And beginning on the 22nd, we begin our B'nai Mitzvah schedule, and we are, which is a very full B'nai Mitzvah schedule, I should mention. And we're really excited about that. And I hope you'll take advantage of those opportunities as well. Good night, everybody. Laila Tov.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Rabbis.
My pleasure.
Barbara, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. They're popping off. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.